Alright, and welcome back to Kuma Style Reviews. What we have here today is the Mastermind Creations Cyber Engine Night Morpher KM-07 or Cyber Engine Night Morpher KM-07 Warper. So we're just taking a look at the box for this part. We're going to go over changes from this toy, from the prototype to the final version to the alt mode to a comparison with the rest of the Eliminator cast. This is going to be a good review and I'm excited to do it. But looking at the box here, we do have the CG art. Okay, bottom side, just the regular warning, link to their site and whatnot. Okay, the other side of the box here, another CGI rendering, this time with some effects like the eye glow. Really cool pose. A view of the alternate mode here, as well as some more CG artwork, kind of a see-through version. And that's really cool because you can see a lot of the detailing that's went into that too. And same with the alt mode. Okay? So that is the box, and let's look at the figure. Alright, and here we have Warper in robot mode. What I want to go ahead and knock out first is a comparison to the actual prototypes that have been shown at things like TFCon. I believe Aegis 3 and up had it on display for a while and whatnot, and Mastermind Creations went out of their way to ask fans what they wanted to see in terms of changes to the deco and whatnot. So I'm going to move this one to the side and actually bring in said prototype so that you guys can see the difference in the deco and whatnot. And yep, this is the actual prototype that had been shown all around and displayed and all that good stuff. So good times, glad to own it. But anyway, the first thing that's different is the face. Okay, zoom in a bit right there. Make sure they're at the bottom so my logo doesn't cover it up. This one has a more stoic face seen on Warper and Awakening, while this one has a raging face. Just so you guys can see that a little bit more. Yeah, so really neat for them to throw that in. And for you guys who do like the stoic face, this set also includes a stoic face to go along with them. Okay? Now, as for actual deco changes, this one, the most noticeable thing is obviously the propellers. They went from a dark gray in the prototype to a more light gray, light, flat, but gloss coat gray here in the final version. And I dig it. When I initially saw pictures before it was released, I was kind of here or there because the pictures were making it look very white, but at the same time, the light gray, it surprisingly works. I'm fine with either though. So, in terms of the purples used to accent the forearms, feet, things like that, they're pretty much the same hue, not gonna lie. On this one, the prototype, it looks a little bit darker in those areas, but at the same time, I think it might have been maybe the color mixing of the plastic itself more than anything else. Okay? Exact same guns used for each, but the knobs here that let them be used as, hand blasters as well, those are different. They're actually a lighter gray, as you can see. On his chest area here, he has a little bit of accenting. This one, the vents, zoom in a bit, are not colored at all. So you can see the indents all silver, throughout. While this one, the newer version, has the vents colored in, as well as some coloring up here on top, which I like a lot better. Okay? Other than that, the major differences are going to be the shade of purple used on the wings. It goes from a darker purple to a more matching, I guess like hot purple, if you want to call it that. Okay? And there are some additional paint applications on the leg areas. Okay? These thigh guards right here, this one, zoom in some, actually has gray accents, as well as, you know, all light gray gears down here. While you can see the prototype actually has pretty much all black in that area. So quite a few differences to this compared to the prototype. Turning them around back here. Okay, both have the silver accenting on the wings and whatnot. This one's a little bit more orange in the cockpit area. The applications for some of the pieces on the back, they go from purple to more of a gunmetal gray. And outside of that, everything's pretty much on. So just looking at it top to bottom, these clip pieces and gears for the wings also changed to a light gray. So yeah, that's going to be about it. Let me turn these around. And give you one more peek at how they look. And another thing that this comes with, the hands are still more of that gunmetal dark gray, but it comes with optional lighter gray hands if you want to replace that as well. So once again, the newer version comes with a stoic face, as well as the default rage face, as well as a pair of gray hands to replace those with. But yeah, those have been the changes between the prototype here and the final release version. Alright, and now that we've taken the opportunity to go ahead and look at what's changed in this final release, we can get into reviewing the robot itself. I've definitely went over the features and functions of these, even having reviewed the prototypes and Screamer and Awakening and all of that stuff previously. But for those of you who haven't seen it, or maybe are just interested in this one, skipped over those, whatever, let's go ahead and go over them again. So we've went over this figure front to back, but I'll give you another quick view. One of the best things about these is the sheer amount of detailing that comes with them. You can see top to bottom, it's just small detail on top of moving gear, you know, it's awesome. So looking at the posability of this, head's definitely on a ball joint. I love that it has realistic upward movement, you know, all propellers twist. Okay, shoulders, strong ratchet joints, all range of movement, definitely has bicep swivel, okay, very far elbow reach, okay, full waist swivel, okay, thighs are the same as the shoulders, really strong ball joints, well not ball joints but ratcheting, full range of movement, thigh swivel. Very good double jointed knees here. Okay. So there's that. Show you that once again. And if you notice, while I'm bending the knee, the gear is actually rotating and whatnot inside. It's really cool. So, as well as when you're transforming, you know, you have gears up here that move when you twist the wings and stuff like that. Just nice stuff. Now the heels and the feet are separate. Okay, the feet are on ball joints of their own, and the heels can move in and out. A lot of it's due to the transformation, but it really benefits the robot mode and being able to catch so many poses with that, you know, gained foot support. It's just really nice stuff. So let's get everything back. Okay, and zooming out there, there is the robot mode. Okay, now taking a look at his accessories. Just like the rest of the Eliminators using this mold, his side skirts do come off and he can use those as swords. They just clip in. And if you want, you can put one in each hand, obviously. The guns now, they have these two pegs on the side so that if you want to, goodness, that's a nice tight grip. Okay, you could take those and they extend out a little bit, so let me see if I have something to push them in. There we go. So you can take those, and it's hard to do because the hand wants to push them up, but okay. There's no real lock on there, so you just gotta be careful. But there you go. Alright. I don't really prefer this. That's why I had a little bit of trouble there. That's actually my first time doing it. I just seen it in pictures. But okay. There's that. And in my opinion, what the coolest accessory is the big Shoryuken mode. And you just do that by taking the wings. And all I did was, to get the wings off, I simply unpegged them. Move them straight out. You just take these two pieces. Alright. And on each side, you're going to want to slide one of the swords in. So there's one side. Okay, that's what you got. There's the other. Okay. When you've got those all straightened out, just carefully peg those in. Oops. Just one side. Make sure that's still slid up and in place. And there's the other side. And boom. You have this nice, huge, extend the wings here, Shoryuken. It's a little bit easier when you take the guns off to have them hold it, but we'll go ahead and give it a view from above. So I'm going to zoom out here, make sure I am zoomed out all the way. In the comics, he actually makes a nice whirlwind with the Shoryuken, so let's see if we can emulate that some here. Make sure the camera's locked up. And what you got here is two 5mm pegs. So potentially, if you have other characters with 5mm hands that are open to fit this in, you can actually use this with those. So, okay. And boom, there's that. I love this angle. Yeah, now you've got him creating a very huge whirlwind, or, you know, however you want to make it work. But yeah, just an awesome, awesome accessory. Really creative of Mastermind Creations to have thrown that piece in. But yeah, I really dig it. But alright, moving on, let's go ahead and look at the alt mode now. Alright, and here we have it. The alt mode for KM-07 Warper. Alright, so taking a look, I've seen this plenty of times because we've had quite a few Seeker or Eliminator releases, but that Renaissance styled biplane and just the sheer amount of detailing on this thing is beautiful. Clip that back in. I mean, there isn't too much to it. We've already went over the fact that it can go over the tracks, connect to any of the Night Morpher Commander modes, and trail behind. That's why it has that hitch there. But showing off the final deco of Warper, you know, it's good stuff. I mean, I like it quite a bit. Great propellers actually work. Okay, once again, so you can see it from up top. Very bat-like presence to it. Okay. And yeah, that is the alt mode for Warper. Alright, normally for my final thoughts, I just have, you know, that one figure and talk about it. But at the same time, these are homages to the, Generation 1 Seekers. They're not necessarily meant to, but most people buy them in terms of troop building, or at least as a group. The Star Screamer, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. Whenever there's a toy of one, they want to buy all three because they're represented so much as a team in the original cartoon. And one thing that Mastermind Creations did to make it more enticing to buy all three is the fact that they gave them all, obviously each gorgeous and different color decos. They gave them each different faces. They gave them all different weapons in terms of the kind of blasters they had and stuff like that. So I'm not just going to recommend Warper, but I'm going to recommend all of the Eliminators, actually. Between Screamer, between Warper, between Stormer, even the Awakening version, if you can still find that one, And speaking of Awakening, how often is it that you can get a toy that's released in completely monochrome colors that sets the fandom abuzz? It gave the fandom a chance to check out, the intense detailing and things like that, and really see the toy for what it's worth, rather than just, pretty deco, whoa, bright colors, like that kind of thing. It really made you take a look back and say, wow, these are awesome, awesome toys. So that when they did add those decos, in terms of Traitor and or Screamer, that kind of thing, then you not only knew that these were awesome toys, but you got to appreciate, the awesome colors and the difference in weapons and stuff like that too. So top to bottom, these are amazing. Out of all of the Hearts of Steel modes, I believe these are the ones that really put Mastermind Creations on the map as a real player in the game, for lack of a better term, and made them comparable to those other, high quality companies and whatnot. And I think they're going to continue to be a big player. So definitely, in terms of getting something that's a history of this company when they eventually blow up, like I know they will, in terms of getting good toys, yeah, these are ones that I definitely would not pass up on. The one thing that I can understand is that they are not a direct, G1 homage, because they are the Hearts of Steel or steampunk style, but at the same time, these toys are just plain amazing. So don't just buy Warper, buy them all. They are fantastic. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching. This has been another Kuma Style review. I'm TJ Duckett, and see you next review.